This is ABC 7 News at 6.
The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating a fatal motorcycle crash in Glenburn. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. The Regional Communication Center received an automated crash notification from a cell phone a little before 11:30 last night in the area of the Phillips Road. Officials say when a deputy arrived, he found an unresponsive male and a motorcycle that had crashed in the woods. EMS responded and the person was pronounced dead at the scene. That crash is still under investigation. Meanwhile, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agents have arrested a Maine fugitive fleeing felony charges. CBP spokesperson Steve Sapp says officers arrested 41-year-old Thomas Cooley of Solon as he attempted to board a flight to Germany with a one-way ticket at the Philadelphia airport. The Somerset County Sheriff's Office had charged Cooley with 2 counts of gross sexual assault, possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, and domestic violence stalking. He now faces additional charges of assault on an officer and refusing to submit to arrest for allegedly pepper spraying the officers who arrested him at the airport. Well, a new energy project is slated to come to Lincoln, and several city, state, and federal officials, including the U.S. Energy Secretary, discussed the details today. Our Callie Warren was there and has more. Callie, what did the Secretary have to say?
Well, Beth, U.S. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright, alongside Senator Susan Collins and former Governor Paul LePage, discussed the plans for Forum Energy to take over this former Lincoln paper mill, as you see behind me right here. Now, Forum Energy is proposing that an energy storage facility could come to this site. Representatives from that company and Secretary Wright are saying that it would provide clean energy up to 8.5 billion watts during incidents when Maine's power grid could be struggling, such as during intense storms.
Cold high pressure systems, high demand. We're going to have additional grid capacity that's going to run through that storm from this energy system.
And according to those at Forum Energy, this project would be affordable, increase energy affordability. It would also bring over 400 jobs and 100 construction positions right here in Lincoln. We will have more later tonight on this project, as well as some other plans for the site that might be in the works. So, yeah, right here in Lincoln, we are getting definitely some new improvements in energy. Beth, back to you in studio.
Callie, thank you. A government oversight committee wants to investigate the circumstances surrounding the murder of a child in Bangor. Court records show 10-year-old Braxton Smith died in February 2024 after suffering months of abuse and neglect. When he died in the hospital, he was only 48 pounds and was bruised, emaciated, and burned. Braxton's cause of death was determined to be blunt force injuries in the setting of battered child syndrome. His father, Joshua Smith, pleaded guilty to depraved indifference murder. His mother, Jem Bean, and grandmother, Misty LaTourette, both pleaded guilty to manslaughter. The legislature's Office of Program Evaluation and Government Accountability, also called OPEGA, wants to look into whether DHHS had contact with Braxton's family and if mandatory reporting or homeschooling were factors.
We have gone through 4 of these cases so far, and we've yet to figure out exactly what's happening, why we're still one of the worst states in the nation. And I think we need to do the full investigation on this.
Timberlake said there will be a new governor in Maine and a conversation about who runs the Department of Health and Human Services. He said it's time to do things differently so the children of Maine are protected. Well, as many coastal towns across Maine continue to grapple with a housing crisis, Deer Isle municipalities are joining forces to address a damaging lack of affordable housing for the hardworking Mainers who keep the towns running. Our Grace Blanchard explains.
Across the coastal communities of Deer Isle and Stonington, the housing market is pushing the local workforce off the island.
We've got to solve this housing issue, and we've got to do it quickly now. We can't take another 10 years to do it because things are changing around us too rapidly.
Research conducted by the community's Joint Interlocal Housing Task Force discovered the island remains short of over 100 units of affordable workforce housing.
There's also just not a lot of availability, and the properties that do become available tend to not align with the price range that matches the income here on the island.
The task force has developed an extensive plan that they hope the newly contracted housing manager, Dan DeBoard, will help bring to life.
I see it more as a coordination effort, as taking advantage of the good work that exists already.
Much of that work is being done by two nonprofits. Homeport, which is converting a former island nursing home into housing, and Island Workforce Housing, which has built 22 units.
Our long-term goals are to reinvigorate downtown Stonington during the winter by having more people living in the vicinity, and to reinvigorate Deer Isle Village to the degree it wants to be.
But community leaders say there is still much work that needs to be done.
It's a very busy time in Stonington, but even when it's not a busy time, we want to remain a year-round community. We want our fishermen to be living down by their boats down on the water, and so we've got a lot of work to do.
In Stonington, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The University of Maine will begin construction of a 3D printed neighborhood for homeless individuals. Senator Susan Collins announced today that the UMaine Advanced Structures and Composites Center has received its $4 million congressionally directed spending award that will support the design and production of 9 of the houses in the greater Bangor area in partnership with Panquist. They will be the first homes in Maine constructed from wood sawmill waste and could serve as a model for other communities looking for ways to address homelessness. A statement says the homes are designed to withstand Maine winters. A prototype on the UMaine Orono campus has done so since it was unveiled in 2022. Senator Collins says, quote, by transforming recycled forest products into durable, energy-efficient homes, this innovative technology could help address our housing shortage, strengthen Maine's forest products industry, and create new jobs across our state. Well, throughout August, the Maine Public Utilities Commission has been reminding Mainers that texting 911 is an option. But as our Alex Schley tells us, officials say it should only be used when making the phone call isn't an option.
State leaders are reminding Mainers help is just a text away. Texting first responders became available to all Mainers in 2018. However, officials say recent upgrades have expanded the capacity of the system.
Obviously, with all the changes in technology, the next gen 911 system, there's upgrades that allows we can even down the road there's the possibility of getting picture messages, getting video messages that we would be able to receive. So someone on scene might take a video of what's going on, and the dispatcher essentially would almost have a live view of what's happening on scene.
Officials say while texting 911 is a great resource, it should not be used unless calling is not an option.
They need to realize when you text, it's a slower process because it's messaging back and forth between a 911 operator and the person requesting services. So we have questions that we need to ask of the person that's calling so we know where the emergency is. We know who to send, what to send for resources, whether it be police, fire, EMS. So just that text exchange, the messaging back and forth takes more time.
The program has also proven to be useful for members of the deaf community to contact first responders.
Instead of involving a relay service, which again, can delay time, they might be more easily able to text 911 and get that quicker response between us and the caller.
Officials say they've seen more people turning to texting 911, but emphasize if you can call, do. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And let's pause now, folks, and peek outside to get a first check of our forecast.
Thank you very much. We warmed up nicely today before those showers and thunderstorms began to develop this afternoon. Mid-80s here in Bangor. You saw right at 80 in Bar Harbor. Mid-upper 70s along your coastline in Rockland. And you saw those further up north as well in Presque Isle, Clayton Lake, and Greenville for today. While you still had mid-80s into the southwestern portion of the state. So a few of those showers and thunderstorms can linger in the area early on for tonight. Here's 8:30 or so. The bigger storms are going to be off to the east. But a few more showers can be possible before we dry out throughout the rest of the night. So we will see those lows back in the mid to upper 50s for tonight into tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies early on, but then we'll get some more cloud cover late, but we do look to stay dry, and we'll get more sunshine heading into your Friday. So a little bit more cloud cover as we head into tomorrow. But otherwise for tonight, we'll see decreasing cloud cover out there. That's going to lead to partly cloudy skies. After a few more showers and thunderstorms roll through the region early on tonight, we'll see those lows back tonight with some areas of dense fog falling into the mid to upper 50s.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, we have more of your local news.
Are your basement walls bowing, crumbling, or failing? Hi, I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basementy. Our Stable Lock wall system offers a patented, affordable, and permanent solution to save your foundation walls. It stabilizes, fills voids, and structurally repairs, leaving a new smooth surface. All the strength of new walls. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's 35th anniversary. So stop in for the best values in furniture and mattresses at our famous everyday low prices. Celebrate Bob's 35th anniversary this Labor Day weekend.
Oh my Bob! Make this the summer event at Thornton Brothers in Lincoln. Looking for a truck built to go the distance? Drive home a new Ram truck backed by an available 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Ready for adventure? Check out our selection of new Jeep Gladiators and Wranglers, built for wherever the road or trail takes you. Need room for the whole family? We've got a great selection of new Chrysler Pacifica vans, packed with comfort, versatility, and style. This summer, make the drive, we'll make the deal. Visit Thornton Brothers in Lincoln today.
No matter the president, no matter the party, we need our leaders to stand up for Maine. Like Senator Susan Collins, who crossed the aisle to protect the Affordable Care Act, saving health care for thousands of Mainers. She fought alongside Democrats to oppose tariffs on Canada that would harm Maine's economy. And when Republicans tried to cut Medicaid and rural health care, Senator Collins stepped in and delivered record funding. Call Senator Collins and ask her to keep fighting for Maine.
Here are the facts about Susan Collins and Medicaid. Susan Collins was the deciding vote to advance Donald Trump's Medicaid cuts.
Susan Collins was the deciding vote to advance the bill.
Now, thousands more Mainers are expected to lose their Medicaid coverage. Hospitals and clinics are shutting down, all to give massive tax breaks for billionaires. Look up the facts yourself and tell Susan Collins to stop voting for Trump's healthcare cuts.
The Piscataquis Valley Fair, an old-time country fair featuring farms, a tractor pull, demolition derby, pig scramble, and more. Fun rides in the Midway, daily and nightly entertainment. The Piscataquis Valley Fair, something for everyone, August 27th through the 30th in Dover Foxcroft.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. Maine's fishermen and ocean waters are forever intertwined, and a major construction project in Brooksville aims to keep them that way. Our Doug Banks has the story.
There's been a major step forward towards solving the town of Brooksville's common complication, which is for 2 hours twice a day. The tide at Betsy's Cove Landing drops significantly.
This is actually a pretty mild low tide. On a bigger low tide, it's actually dry. The pier, the boats are all sitting on the mud. And this is the only public access point.
According to Brooksville's Harbor Committee chair, the town recently acquired around $900,000 from the Northern Border Regional Commission to dredge 6 feet out of the cove's floor and extend the current pier.
The final design isn't done, but it'll be 120 to 130 feet long.
The new funding adds to the approximate $250,000 acquired from the Maine DOT and the $500,000 the town has committed to the estimated $1.8 million project.
We hope to get a couple more grants and reduce the amount that the town will have to spend.
Pending a federal environmental review of the project, Shaughnessy projects dredging and pier construction will begin this winter and conclude the following spring. Afterwards, work to replace the boat ramp will begin in the winter of 2027 and conclude in the spring of 2028. Constructing an all-side public pier is expected to provide convenience to the approximate 30 licensed fishermen in town.
Plus, the summer people and stuff will use it a lot, which is great. It's cool. I mean, that's part of the community and the business, and the town makes a lot of money off that.
Shaughnessy hopes the project will also maintain an important industry in the town of Brooksville.
High percentage of people who grow up in Brooksville end up being fishermen, and we're losing our young people, and this is hopefully a way to keep some of our young people here.
In Brooksville, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, we have sports and your full forecast. Stay tuned.
Ready, set, summer with the Honda Summer Event from the most fuel-efficient full-line automaker in America. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
After she was injured on the turnpike, Tricia knew she had only one opportunity to call the main law firm with the resources and experience her case required.
Joe Bornstein took over my case and didn't take any nonsense from the insurance companies. I felt like I was dealing with the best lawyers on earth.
Joe Bornstein has been fighting and winning for injured Mainers for over 50 years.
I call that success. If you want the best, call Joe.
The law offices of Joe Bornstein. Accidents happen to be their specialty.
Here are the facts about Susan Collins and Medicaid. Susan Collins was the deciding vote to advance Donald Trump's Medicaid cuts.
Susan Collins was the deciding vote to advance the bill.
Now, thousands more Mainers are expected to lose their Medicaid coverage. Hospitals and clinics are shutting down, all to give massive tax breaks for billionaires. Look up the facts yourself and tell Susan Collins to stop voting for Trump's healthcare cuts.
I went to work in the woods after high school. The harder we worked, the more that the companies took from us. That's why we organized. We made them listen. People are doing everything they can right and still cannot get ahead. Susan Collins keeps telling us everything is just fine. Who has she served? She has served Donald Trump. She has served the billionaires. She has served herself. We are getting screwed, and I'm running to change that.
Government that Works PAC's responsible for the content of this ad. Ready, set, summer with the Honda Summer Event from the 2026 Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Hurry into your local Honda dealer while the offers last.
Saturday night preseason football is back. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the New England Patriots. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Saturday night on ABC 7.
Welcome back in, folks. The high school soccer season is almost here, and the Ellsworth girls soccer team has a new coach.
I just know that we're in good hands, and I know that we're with someone that really enjoys soccer and just wants to help us get better.
The high school soccer season is just around the corner, and for every team, a new season means new changes. The Ellsworth girls soccer team is no different, as Addie Lastly steps in as the Eagles' brand new head coach.
I'm so excited to come back, and it kind of fills the void a little bit. I've been playing soccer since I was 4 years old.
While she may be new to coaching, Lastly is not new to Ellsworth. She played all 4 years of high school as a member of the Eagles, which largely played a part in her return home in a new role.
When Eric announced his resignation, I texted him like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad you're leaving. We always joked when I graduated that his last year was going to be the year that I was ready to take the team. I really wanted to coach this school that I grew up in and graduated from.
After graduating from Husson University and following a successful collegiate career, Lastly's experience at the next level is one of the traits that makes her a great fit for the Eagles.
Obviously, being fresh from college, a little bit more experience and some recent experience. And I think because I've been playing for so long, I know a lot about the game.
She definitely knows what she's doing. She definitely knows a lot of good drills for us to do. She definitely has a lot of experience to get us to win those games.
Another great attribute that lands with her in Ellsworth, her competitiveness.
I'm the most competitive person I know. I think I'm not even allowed to play board games with my family. I want to win, and I'm hoping that I can influence the girls to be the same.
As a young coach adapting to her new role, there are things Lastly is focusing on getting better at early on.
Being loud and having a voice and being confident is probably what I've been working on.
But the players will tell you she's already done that.
She definitely leads with her head, sort of she's very confident.
The new season looms, and the Eagles will set out to try and win their first ever state title. For Lastly, the idea of that possibility is something she can't even fully put into words.
I would probably freak out if we won a state championship my first year, obviously. It would be hard to follow.
In Ellsworth, Max Sturm, ABC 7 and Fox 22 Sports.
That is great. Thank you for that, Max. Cooper Flags excited about year 2 with the Mavericks. Less than a year removed from the start of his rookie year, and things look a lot different in Dallas. As of now, he'll have veteran star Kyrie Irving by his side. Anthony Davis has been shipped to Washington, and he has a new coach in Dusty May. Here's Flag on year 2.
Yeah, I'm really excited. You know, I've been able to spend some time with Dusty and get on the court and work out with the new staff. So I'm very excited. Looking forward in the future and just continue to get better. New beginning for us, a new start, new 82 games. So just looking forward to showing improvement. Staying healthy, getting guys healthy. Obviously, Kyrie's going to help a lot. Got some new faces. So it's really exciting just going into this new year with a fresh slate and just showing that we've improved and got better.
We'll have more for you later on. For now, that's all the time we have for sports. Here is your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you very much. Tonight's weather is brought to you by Rogan's Memorials. Give the gift of comfort through thoughtful planning with locations in Bangor, Bucksport, and Lincoln. All right, those highs for today did reach back into the mid-80s here in Bangor before we got the cloud cover and a few showers and thunderstorms to roll through the region for today. Right at 80 in Bar Harbor, but 77 in Rockland with a little bit of a sea breeze out there for you. You saw that in Portland as well, but still mid-80s in Sanford and Freiburg for today, while the rest of us further north hanging out in the mid-upper 70s as well. So for tonight, we will have some decreasing cloud cover out there. We're going to hang out in the mid-upper 50s here tonight in Bangor, and most likely all across the state as well. There can be a few areas hanging out near 60 out there for tonight, but into tomorrow we'll still warm up nicely. Looking to be right around 80. Shouldn't be as warm as we were out there for today. We're going to get a little bit more cloud cover later in the day for tomorrow. That could keep us a little bit cooler, but still plenty of sunshine to help us warm up early on. You could see low 70s further north for your afternoon highs tomorrow, but still pretty close to average, right? The average high now at 79 degrees, but looking for 80 tomorrow, 81 for your Friday, and then we do fall below average going into the end of your weekend on Sunday, looking at 70 for a high. That'll slowly climb back near average throughout the week. You'll see that much closer to average by your Wednesday, that high then at 78 degrees. So winds tonight's pretty light out there with a few showers and thunderstorms rolling through. Tomorrow, more of a west wind in place. Could get breezy at times close to noon, maybe getting up to 15 miles per hour, but for the most part, we're going to see pretty light winds for tomorrow heading into your Friday as well. So pretty nice stretch wind-wise out there, even though a few showers and thunderstorms are rolling through the region, but most of this is going to be over by tonight. Here's 9 p.m. You can see more of those showers outside of the state, but there can be a storm or two still across north central Maine as we get into the early overnight hours. But otherwise, you'll see decreasing clouds throughout the night. Here we are, 1 o'clock tomorrow. Still plenty of sunshine, right? This is how we're going to reach to the 80-degree mark tomorrow. But shortly afternoon, you're going to see increasing clouds. That'll be thanks to some low pressure south of the state that will not work its way in. So we are looking to stay dry throughout your Thursday night into your Friday. Here it is Friday. You see all that cloud cover is now off to the east. High pressure is in place. We're going to stay pretty dry throughout your Friday with some warm temperatures still in place, hanging out in the low 80s. So for tonight, many of us dipping just below 60. We got 59 for that low here tonight. Thunderstorms early on, and then areas of dense fog throughout the rest of the night as winds are calm out there. For tomorrow, you're looking at that high right back near 80, and we will see increasing clouds later in the day, but still plenty of sunshine early on to help us warm up to the 80-degree mark with winds from the west right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So taking a look at your extended forecast, low 80s for tomorrow into your Friday, and then we see a dip in temperatures by the weekend, mid-70s with increasing clouds, a slight chance for a few showers Saturday, but much better chances for thunderstorms Saturday night continuing throughout your Sunday. That is what is going to hold those highs near 70 degrees. We can see a slight increase near 73 for your Monday, but still a few more showers and thunderstorms may linger in the area.
Chase, thank you so much, and there is still more to come after the break.
Augusta politician Troy Jackson. While his family cashed in, you paid the price. As state Senate president, he voted repeatedly for higher taxes. Troy Jackson voted to allow cities and towns to drastically raise your property taxes, hurting our seniors and working families the most. And Jackson supports raising taxes on your Social Security, making Mainers pay more while his family cashed in. We can't afford Troy Jackson in the Senate. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's a mountain of fun. Plus, the Mallet Brothers at the county's Fall Festival to End Hunger, Saturday, October 3rd. This year's family fun, the scenic chairlift, NATV ride-in, food trucks, beer garden, bonfire, golf scramble, and the Mallet Brothers. The county's Fall Festival to End Hunger, Big Rock, Mars Hill, Saturday, October 3rd. All for Maine's Ending Hunger campaign from the County Federal Credit Union. More at countyfallfestival.org.
You don't get to buy the government that you want.
But let's look at what Troy Jackson did. Because Troy Jackson likes to keep it in the family. When Jackson was state Senate president, his son was one of the highest paid lobbyists in town. Special interests paid his son, and Jackson changed his positions. Was it a coincidence, or was something corrupt? Troy Jackson is just another dirty politician. SLF PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
He put his life on the line for his country. Senator Susan Collins isn't forgetting him or any of our veterans. She's delivered millions in federal funding to improve housing for veterans across Maine and provide housing vouchers to make sure Maine veterans have a place to call home. She's also worked tirelessly to provide the quality mental health care our veterans deserve. Call and tell Senator Collins to keep fighting for our veterans.
First, it was Graham Plattner's problems with women. And now, Troy Jackson.
According to a police report, Troy Jackson kicked down a door, punched a man in the face, and pushed his ex-girlfriend. As state Senate president, there are multiple reports of Jackson yelling and screaming at women. Jackson even threw a water bottle at one woman.
Make no mistake, this is an attempt to intimidate and control women. Maine deserves better than Troy Jackson.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Youth interested in STEM fields built and launched their own rockets today at an event held by the Challenger Learning Center of Maine. Kids of all ages got hands-on STEM experience at Challenger Learning Center's Blast Off Bash, as you just saw. Held at the Coal Land Transportation Museum, participants got to build their own rockets, launch them, and then learn about rocket science, all while, obviously, having a little fun. This is the first year the Challenger Learning Center of Maine has held an event like this, and they hope the Blast Off Bash will inspire the next generation of STEM professionals.
A rocket launch is just this really great event where you can see and hear and feel an amazing launch opportunity. And students with their families get to build it from scratch, hear the kits and all the pieces and parts, and they will feel empowered to build it and launch it all in the same day. And we hope that it's really a spark, saying, hey, I did this well, I think I like this. And so it's just one more opportunity to get them excited about STEM.
Those who are or were unable to make the event on Wednesday will still be able to take part in the Blast Off Bash during the second day of the event, and that is on Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon. Well, Wednesday marked day number 7 of the iconic Skowhegan State Fair, and attendees still have plenty of activities to enjoy. Our Sam Miller says excitement is still in the air.
The Skowhegan State Fair is in full swing, and attendees of all ages flock to the fairground to celebrate 208 years of the oldest consecutive agricultural fair in the United States. The fair began on Thursday, August 13th, with each day bringing new and exciting activities for people to enjoy. On top of the numerous rides and games that put their livestock front and center. Farmers showcased their sheep to be judged on ballast and breed characteristics. And across the way, horses displayed raw pulling power by hauling nearly 10,000 total pounds of concrete. Fairground employees say seeing waves of people come in and experience everything the fair has to offer makes every second worth it.
They've all been great, really nice. I've seen a lot more people than I've ever seen in my life, but it's been a great fair. I love this fair.
Amongst all of the rides, food, and livestock, attendees say the most thrilling moments of all are made with the people closest in your life.
We're just hanging out, having fun at the fair. It's a good time, and especially here in Skowhegan, because I got friends in Mercer and Norridgewock, and it's in between everybody.
Even after 200 years, the fair continues to be a staple in the state, and everyone who attends can never get enough. In Skowhegan, Sam Miller, ABC 7, Fox 22 News.
Good thing he hit the target. All right, well, that is going to do it for us, folks. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. Join us for more over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30.
overnight.
Going on, the mouth problems that I've had. So he knew about it for a year.
How much did you pay on the dental bill?
I didn't pay anything.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. I'm done with you.
Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
Pretty much play for your own team and just don't trust anybody unless they have it in writing.
Because it was an offer, otherwise I would have never done it.
Why should I offer her when I need some dental work done on myself?
It was an ongoing condition, and he said that he was tired of seeing me suffer and offered to help me.
No, it's not fair at all if I can't get help on my own set of teeth.
I think it's fair if it was offered that you're responsible for an offer that you made.
Finally, I've got the justice I've been waiting for a whole year, and it's a good weight off my shoulder.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating a fatal motorcycle crash in Glenburn. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. The Regional Communication Center received an automated crash notification from a cell phone a little before 11:30 last night in the area of the Phillips Road. Officials say when a deputy arrived, he found an unresponsive male and a motorcycle that had crashed in the woods. EMS responded and the person was pronounced dead at the scene. That crash is still under investigation. Meanwhile, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agents have arrested a Maine fugitive fleeing felony charges. CBP spokesperson Steve Sapp says officers arrested 41-year-old Thomas Cooley of Solon as he attempted to board a flight to Germany with a